Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of using the Pythagorean Theorem. This is standard 8.7c in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 32 off the 2016 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a diagram here, shows the side view of a ramp that's used for a moving van. And we should notice, this is a right triangle. So we need to find the measure of our ramp, and they don't give us anything, but we need to remember the Pythagorean theorem. Right? So our Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What does that mean? Well, that means if on a right triangle, if you take each of these sides and think of them as the sides of a square, so that's a perfect square right there. We'll call that A. And let's pretend this is a square. That's a pretty long square, but we could probably call that a square. B, if you take your A square and your B square, this is going to go off the screen. So let's just pretend that's a square up here. Right, and so that is going to be C. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Those areas of the two squares, the two sides, are always equal to that of the hypotenuse. So this is our hypotenuse. That is the slanted side that is across from the right angle. That's always c. The other two, a and b, can just be kind of whichever. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so we need to just figure out what is closest to that measurement of c. All right, well, let's just plug in our numbers to our formula. So a is 3, right? So we'll do 3 squared. It's going to take the place of that right there. Plus b is 9. So we'll call that 9 squared. Equals c squared. We don't know what c is. That's what we're looking for. That's our c right there. All right, well, we can simplify that. We just need to remember that obviously 3 squared is not 3 times 2. That's 3 times itself, right? So that's 3 times 3. Plus 9 squared is not 9 times 2. It's 9 times itself. Equals c. So that's 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. All right, so let's get that c squared in there. And so that's going to be 90. All right, so 90 equals c squared. Even if I wanted to say that's the correct answer, there's nothing even close to 90, but it's not the correct answer because I haven't found c. I have found c squared. So what I need to find here is I need to find the square root, because that's how you get rid of a square. You should do the square root. Just like you get rid of an addition by using its inverse subtraction, or you get rid of multiplication by using its inverse division, the inverse of a square or an exponent is a square root right there. So let's just do the square root of both sides. And so c equals the square root of 90. But which measurement is closest? 90 is not a perfect square, so how do we estimate that? Well, we can estimate that c equals the square root of 90. We could use our calculators, but that'd be too boring. So let's estimate. Let's look at the square root above it and below it. All right, so perfect square above it is going to be 9 times 9 is 81. Perfect square below it is going to be 100, because 10 times 10 makes 100. So you notice how my 90 is in between my 81 and my 100, so it's going to be 9 point something. And as you can see here, look, I've only got one option, but let's just go and do the rest of the work. So the difference here between 81 and 100 is 19. And I am 9 away from 81. I am 10 away from 100. So it's basically split the difference. So I'd call it maybe 9.45, 9.5. And as you can see, we've got that right here. So our answer is H.